Nothing can ever replace the theatrical experience. This is a sentiment held by many directors. They create these films specifically for the theater, designing the visuals to pop best on a projector screen and the sounds to blast best across the high-quality speakers of the movie theaters. Some directors even tailor their movies for even grander experiences, like IMAX screens or Dolby Atmos, to really try and suck you into the world of the film completely. Only in this setting can you truly experience the artistry. This is what the directors want you to see. It also helps that directors and studios make way more money if you see a movie in the theaters rather than streaming it, but I'm sure that has nothing to do with it. Hello, my fellows and fellas, and welcome back to AP Alfred, where our topic for the day is movie theaters, and how they're disgusting now. I don't have any solid scientific proof for that, but after I went to see the Sonic movie, I got really sick for a week, got better, and then got really sick again the next week. I can't technically prove that this was all Sonic's fault, but let's be honest, if it was anyone, it was the Blue Devil. Now, talking about movie theaters has become a bit of a touchy topic lately, especially with the effects of the big hack virus and the new changes in release format that are constantly coming out. I know that for a lot of people in the exhibition business, times are tough right now, and I want to be clear that nothing I say in this video is meant to be an attack on theater owners or their employees. You people do incredible work and deserve way more credit than you're getting, especially the people who run independent theaters. I'm not here to attack you. I'm here to share my experiences from the perspective of a viewer, and in order to help support theater owners and their employees, I will be leaving links in the description for places you can support theater owners and employees. While I will get pretty hard on theaters and the entire industry in this episode, I want to be clear that I still do love movie theaters and they serve an important role in the industry. That being said, growing up as a kid, I hated movie theaters. To this day, I'm not completely sure why, but they just made me feel sick to my stomach. Maybe it was the lingering slime of fake butter that makes the air feel heavy and greasy as you breathe it. Maybe it was the loud sounds that busted my little eardrums. Or maybe it was the fact that I was terrified of being around people. Seriously, for some reason as a kid, the movie theater just horrified me, which was strange because I always loved movies and never had a problem watching them at home. So you would think that when someone offers to let you see a movie in what is supposed to be the highest quality possible, I'd jump at the chance. But nope. When one of my elementary school friends offered to take me to see Cars with him, I had a full-on breakdown. I think it's easy to see that I was a weird kid. While this breakdown was really only a one-time thing, any other time I go to the movie theater as a kid, I just felt queasy in my stomach. Into my teenage years though, I started to actually enjoy going into the movie theaters more. And now more recently, I'm starting to hate it again. So why do I have such a complicated relationship with movie theaters? Well, for one, I think they're really failing at making seeing a movie an enjoyable experience. One major thing people always point out as being a good reason why movie theaters are great is the social experience, where you and a whole bunch of smelly strangers and their screaming babies can all sit together and witness B-tier trash together. And while I am about to rip into how the social experience at movie theaters sucks now, I do want to preface my anger with a few positive notes. When I went to see the third Hobbit movie in theaters, there was this group of elderly ladies in front of me, and they were probably more entertaining than the movie itself. We got to the part of the movie where it tries to act like Keely and Tariel had anything more than an elementary school relationship, and right when this line played,
"Why does it hurt so much?"
Because it was real.
the ladies in front of me just full on cackled. Like they were cackling hysterically, and it was maybe the funniest thing I'd ever seen. There was also the time my brother and I went to see Batman v Superman together to see what kind of horrors that film could hold. For some reason, we went to the 10 o'clock at night showing, so there weren't too many people there. And when they started up the trailers before the movie, everything was a different shade of pink. Like the entire screen was all pink with some lighter and darker shades. And this continued forever every trailer. One guy left the theater to try and get help, and the projectionist took forever to fix the problem. And once it was finally fixed and they started up the trailers again, the screen was being projected onto the ceiling, and it was super small. I didn't even know projectors had that kind of range. For the rest of the duration of the trailers, the projection was slowly coming down to the screen, and then once it hit the screen, it slowly stretched out to fill the actual theater screen, but it was still super out of focus. So then the film slowly came into focus. We didn't get home until really late that night, but having all of those hilarious issues felt like the perfect accent to Batman v Superman. One of my favorite social experiences at the movie theater, though, was probably when I saw Avengers Infinity War. Near the end battle of the film, the whole theater was excited. Everyone was cheering at certain parts and character entrances, and it got annoyingly loud. But then Thanos snapped and everyone just shut up for the rest of the movie. And once it got to the credits with the title that goes all, and then the movie is quiet, the theater, which was packed to the brim, was absolutely silent. You could hear a pin drop. It was like nobody dared to breathe. It was the coolest thing ever. But from Avengers Infinity War, we move on to Avengers Endgame, the movie that really cemented my problems with the social experience at movie theaters. The entire movie, everyone was talking. Like, I missed so many lines because people just kept talking over it, either spewing their own theories, or they were yelling and cheering or getting excited in general, which meant they were kicking my seat and jumping, and wow, it was annoying. I already didn't like the movie. It seriously didn't help that watching it was a horrible experience. And that's just it. Movie theaters act like having all of these people there will enhance the experience. But honestly, nowadays, because movie theaters have become more of a social experience more than anything, people go there to hang out with friends and talk now, which makes it really difficult to enjoy the movie. And I swear there hasn't been a single time I've gone to the movie theaters in the past 3 years and the people in front of me weren't using their phones during the entire movie. All of these problems are way worse for animated movies, because in addition to the adults acting childish like in most movies, you've got kids being kids and yelling and screaming the whole movie. The whole situation is just made so much worse now that we've had hecking pandemics sweeping across the world, and with the way movie theaters pack people into those seats, I'm sure they were an absolute petri dish for disease. But now let's talk about movie theaters' greatest scapegoat, streaming. It's an easy thing to blame your poor business models on. Movie theaters now, in an effort to beat out streaming services, try to make movies events, must-see things that you have to be packed in with everyone and take all of your friends to cheer and cry and everything like that. And it's really ruining the movie theater experience. Rather than being a place to watch some good movies in high quality, movie theaters are now a place to take your friends and scream about Tony Stark. If this is the future of the movie theater, then honestly, I don't want any part of it. And I don't think I'm the only one who feels this way. Not to mention, the government made it legal for movie studios to own theaters again. And combine that with theaters dying because of the big heck virus, and I can definitely see some Disney theaters in our future, where we can only watch Disney movies, and we'll never get to see anything new or different or interesting ever again. But it's okay. I'm sure we'll be able to see Artemis Fowl on the big screen anytime life seems to be going too well.
It's feeding time.
Honestly, I think the theater experience is dying, and I much prefer streaming movies. With streaming, I can watch a movie with friends or by myself. I can choose the setting, and I can sit in my own comfortable chair to watch a movie in. So how are movie theaters supposed to combat this? Rather than trying to make the movies a social blockbuster experience, I think movie theaters need to focus on making the movie-going experience better. For one, stop pumping so much cholesterol into the air. And then when it comes to the actual theater experience, movie theaters should focus on being the best way to watch high quality content. Streaming will never be as high quality as the movie theater. I can't see video compression getting that good anytime soon. And in terms of sound, many people can't afford high quality sound systems and are left listening to movies crafted with a dynamic soundscape on their gas station earbuds. Make going to the movies about having a great experience. Make it so that people will want to go to the movies because because it is the best way to watch new releases. Also, make the ticket cost reflect the actual quality you're receiving. Either raise the bar in the experience or lower those insane prices. Next, make going to the theater less about big budget releases and more about seeing films that are best experienced in a theater setting. Try allowing experimental films to be shown more often so they can do things you simply can't experience from streaming. Also, make it easier to get your movie into a theater. That is one of the huge perks of streaming theaters haven't come anywhere close to. On streaming, I can find some movie made by a group of friends in some rural county I've never heard of, and it ends up being the best thing I've ever seen. In the theater, you basically only have stuff from the big guys. Allow more independent creators to get their stuff in there. You can afford to have one screen not show the 30th Fast and Furious movie. Having all of this would make me way more likely to actually want to go to the movie theater. But for now, it just feels like I'm paying so much for a lackluster experience surrounded by boisterous strangers while watching a movie that isn't interesting. Until you're able to address these kinds of issues, the flexibility and diverse content library of streaming at the bargain prices many services have will always win. The downfall of the movie theater, while I've been making fun of it, is honestly kind of sad. I've had so many great movie theater experiences. Watching something on my laptop really doesn't compare. But at the end of the day, my best movie theater experience is still when I saw Dunkirk weeks after its release, and there was only one other guy in the theater. I had a great view of the screen. We were both quiet, and you could just experience the movie for what it was. But with what the movie theater is becoming, I've actually been having way better experiences streaming movies from home. Although I know some of you are like, but Alfred, what about the social experience? Well, my friends, that's what Twitter is for. So when you miss the social experience, you can log on and see people screeching nonsense about movies all the time. Twitter is like an endless movie theater void. And with that, I think I've made my case. And since I don't plan on going back to the movie theaters anytime soon, I've decided I'm going to make my own home theater. I don't have much money or anything, but I think we can still make this work. It's perfect. Now I can finally watch James Cameron's Avatar the way it was meant to be seen. Class dismissed.